So it was a little abrupt, Mr. Aaron Pulley not being available today. And I guess Brian put me on the spot. And I thought, well, geez, not really prepared for this. But then I thought about it, and this is a subject that actually hits home to Desiree and I. It's a warm place to our heart, and that's our children and our children's future. Uh, Looking back on some of the struggles that I had growing up, or maybe many others as well. You know, Desiree and I have had discussions of things like, you ever met that kid who had everything growing up? His parents bought them whatever stocks, or they had all these different things in place, um, that they were able to levy to have a good life, even early on. So we thought about, well, when did that stop? Why don't most kids have that today? Or if this hits home for anybody, did you have something in place for you that you could tap into when you got into the real world, right? Became an adult. So that's what we call $1 Million Baby. As Brian was saying, it is and by the way, I have my lovely wife to help me with this breakout. But as we said here, we look at some of the things that plague us here in the U.S. and debt, taxes, all of these different factors, the struggles, uh, even the mentality of people living on credit, right? And we live on credit because that's getting what we don't have the capacity for. Is a mentality that's taught. It's subliminally put into our minds, and that is one of the things we combat. So we can stop the debt crisis here in the U.S. Whether you take $2,000 at the time a child is born and you put it into a particular kind of an account, by the time that child grows to let's say retirement age, they will have plenty of money that they don't need to rely on Social Security or any of those kinds of factors. But we call it $1 Million Baby or grandbaby, right? For the price of a cup of coffee a day, right? Just regular cup of Joe, not Starbucks or any venti, latte, whatever, any of that stuff. So a few affordable dollars. By the time that child gets to retirement age, they would have over $1 million, and they could have leveraged that money their entire life, whether that is for college, buying their first car, their first home, you name it. Desiree, you want to add anything?
That's just it. It stems from worry. That's what we take away is worry. We always worry, can we provide enough for our children? Because essentially, and I'm sure everybody has had hard times in their life where they end up having to go back to mom and dad, ask for help. If something happens in your life and you have to move back home to live with mom and dad, that's something that it takes a lot for you to get to that point and push yourself to acknowledge that you don't have a backup plan. How can you create that backup plan for your children? How can you prevent hardship for them? How can you prepare them for the things that are unforeseen, that happen in life, that are unpredictable? Your car breaks down. You have 0 wheels. How are you going to move forward? What if you could leverage your own money and go buy yourself a new car? Not have to worry about where am I going to live if something should happen, and you can go buy your first home and leverage that money in order to do so. Take that worry away from your children's future. And that's what we did with our children, because I know that when I was growing up, And I made my post yesterday about the silver spoon, because my mom would always say to me, who do you think you are? Are you one of those kids with a silver spoon in your mouth? No, I wasn't. And can I give my children a silver spoon? No, but I can create something that will eventually turn into long time legacy of wealth within your family. It starts with one. And if you start with yourself and you teach those principles to your children about saving money, put a little bit away, a little bit over a long time, not taking any of the downside of the market, and only growing your money at a tax-free, at an interest rate more than a bank account could ever possibly ever guarantee you, and take that money and a little bit, start with a little bit, even with yourself, and then take those new ways of thinking, because that's what it is. It's new ways of thinking. It's being educated. It's being educated into new possibilities, because everything is possible.
And your kids, and educating your kids to do the same. Like, imagine, well, who here has kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews? Okay, so imagine teaching your kids now, grow your money tax-free, get your money working for you. Imagine if you could teach your kids to be their own bank, that didn't need to have access and pay high fees and all of these kinds of things. Imagine what you could do if you can break those chains of the lackadaisy, let's just do what we're told and taught as far as our finances, or not taught, rather. Michelle?
I just want to say, like, I wish I knew about this when my kids were born, before they were born, like this, but it's never too late. So when I met with Nathan and Desiree, like, it changed the way I looked at things, and and it wasn't expensive to set them up and set myself up for financial success in the future. So it was a blessing to meet you guys, and I am so happy that that I'm able to do this for myself and my kids. I mean, it's huge. It changes everything for us.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, I certainly.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah, you have been a blessing to us as well. And that's what it is for me, is I really enjoy waking up and being able to help that. If it's just the education, right? Changing making people see what is possible. Dennis?
You know, it's sad in our educational system, we teach everything except how to be financially responsible. Right. And so I really understand the importance of what you're saying. I just wish that we could get to our children, maybe not in high school, but maybe college, and they're still at an age where they can make a huge impact on their future. So I commend you for what you're doing, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I thought about.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I thought about one thing, just even the gifts, right? Nieces and nephews, those kinds of things. The gifts that we buy for our children or nieces and, right, our relatives, whatever holiday or those sort of hundreds and thousands of dollars some people spend, or in a child's lifetime. A child could have over $1 million if you put $2,000 into it, one of these accounts, and let it grow. If the child was born today, that is so powerful. But if you think about the gifts that we buy, right? $25 a month. What's that? $300 for the year. Putting something like that in a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, right? It's just to leverage, right? To help the parents or help the child or help the principle of let's defeat poverty and reliance on, credit. Frenchie. I think you're muted. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for giving us this information. Since I don't have any kids at the moment, this is something that I have to start. Can I start before having kids, or no? This has to be where they have to have a name, a social security, and all that mumbo jumbo stuff
No.
to start. Because if I, I don't have any kids right now,
Sure.
but if I could start like way before, would that even be a better compound?
You can. Here's one of the concepts, right? If you think about this, you have an account to pay for your car. You have an account for your savings, your emergency fund, your home. You have all these different accounts, right? That's the idea. They want you to divide up your money, and all of those accounts have fees. So you're hemorrhaging, they're bleeding off really slow. You don't even notice it. You don't even care. You don't even know how the power of $5. So in that same premise, if you can pile your money up together, now you have the power of compounding in your favor. So yes, you could start, even though you don't have a child yet. You could start putting your money in a place where it compounds, and then you can use it for whatever life throws at you, or whatever your heart's desire, but allow that money to keep compounding. Warren Buffett says, never let your money stop compounding. There's only a few places where you can use your money and it keeps compounding as if you never touched it. Thank you, Frenchie. A great point. Great question.
I would like to also, to piggyback off of what Dennis was saying is my mission, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but that is to educate young adults about this, because the question came up to me one time that said, how come they teach sex education in school, but they don't teach financial education? If you really think about it, it's sad. They're teaching us, all these precautions of what to do in order to stop the population from growing. But they're not willing to teach you how to save $1 and how to take that $1 and turn it into financial freedom. And that is my mission, is to really, truly have the younger generations learn the power of $1 and the power of what saving that $1 could do in the right account that works for you. And my mission is also to make sure that everybody understands what options they do have, because there are a lot of different options. Our way might not be the best way for you, but how would you even know that without the proper education? And so that's why I am so passionate about young families, young children, young adults, young aspiring entrepreneurs, because I came from government where the mindset was you get a job in government or you get a job with the state because you can get a pension. Well, what if you can create your own personal pension without having to have that job and having your employer give you a portion, because they can turn around and stop that at any point, and it completely throws off your trajectory of where you were heading, because that's exactly what happened to me. I started working for local government. They were giving us a 3% multiplier, and 3 years in, they said, you know what? Anybody that's not management does not get the 3% multiplier anymore, and they put a halt on it. And my money was not growing nearly as fast as I wanted it to do. And on top of that, I would be taxed and feed out the wazoo when I was ready to use that money, and penalized if I wanted to use it or take it prior to retirement age of whatever that looked like for you based on when you started with your job. So just imagine the possibilities of what your future could look like.
Desiree,
Yes.
I've got some avenues for you for reaching children.
Oh,
So-
perfect. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
So just to touch on that again, imagine that if I told you right now, if you found out that you could give a child, your child, grandchild, niece or nephew, a tax-free income stream for the rest of their life that they can't outlive for a few dollars a day. Another one last point here is the one that most people don't want to talk about, the tragic things like, what if something tragic happens to your child, right? Major car accident, you know, all the different health issues, things that can come about that you can't plan for. You know, it completely sideswipes your whole and their life. For that same amount of money, you prepare them that if they would have access to that, right? We can't depend on the healthcare system or any of that for those kinds of situations. So we're giving your dollar multiple jobs instead of $1 for each job.
I would like to,
Yep.
you want to open it up for,
Yeah.
because we're coming to
Michelle was gonna say something?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that really opened my eyes, because this whole time, like, I didn't want to look at any type of life insurance or anything like that, because I didn't want to talk about dying or those negative things. But this is like a living lifestyle insurance.
Yeah.
Like, so that changed the way I thought about things, because it can protect you from everything, but you're building money and able to build a savings for you, for your kids. Like it, and like I said, like I knew I needed some type of insurance, but I put it off, and that was the last thing I wanted to talk to anybody about. As soon as they said life insurance, I was like, hey, no, I don't need that. I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way I looked at it. So like
I was the same way, so that's so funny.
Yeah, like I would avoid it. Like, that wasn't, I'm like, positive thoughts, can't talk about that. But this is it completely, it changed everything, because it's a living life. It's like a lifestyle insurance. Like it covers everything. You can
Sure.
save money. If something bad happens, you're still covered. Like it's really super cool.
Miss Ellen, thank you for that, Michelle. That actually reminds me how much just because you out of sight, out of mind, doesn't go away. Miss Ellen, what do we say? We say it's not just what if you die insurance, it's what if you live, and what if you live a very long time?
What if you live too long?
Yeah. What if you get sick and don't die?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys, you're doing a great job, and it's so important. I don't have kids, but I have one side of my family. They're very financially savvy, and I've seen the difference. I'm an only child, but I have a huge family, cousins, and it's huge. And I see these kids, their parents started them when they're in their 15 years old, and they have so much money and they get it. So it's so important to start them, very, very, very young. It makes a huge difference. So thank you. What you're doing, you're making a difference. Absolutely.
And to touch on that, this is not just for kids,
Right.
It's never too late for yourself. It's never too late to start.
No,
even
you're
if you
absolutely
don't
right.
have any extra money, and there's no such thing as extra money, because if you're not saving it, you're spending it. So it has to go somewhere. Anybody and everybody can do this for themselves with just a little bit to start. And we always like to say, start small, dream big, but begin immediately.
Never too late.
Eileen, you had something?
Question about, so what's the 529? Is that what you're talking about, for like grandchildren or?
No, not exactly. So let's say a 529, and that's a great question, right? So now you put money into a 529. How many purposes does that money have?
I haven't.
One, that's it. College or bust. So you're tying up your money, you're putting it into something where they can use it only for education. So what we're saying is, imagine you put that money in the same place or another kind of place where you can use it for whatever happens. What if that child decides, hey, I don't want to do college. I want to be a master electrician or trade school or something to that extent. You can't use it for that. For many schools, you can't use it for that education. So the restrictions on the 529, or even tapping into it, I mean, when they penalize you for that, I mean, it's brutal how much money they take because you want to use your money. So we're talking about putting the money into an account where no matter what is happening in life, whether it's a positive thing, negative thing, or they just want to let it grow till kingdom come, it's the same account used for whatever the purpose.
So is it an account that's like you, I think you were saying like tax free or?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's utilizing a tax code 7702. Right. So that's what I'm saying. We're taught, okay, well, if it's for the child, then we want to put money into this and this. Why can't we amass our money in one thing, diversified in itself, instead of in all these different places that have fees and taxes and, you know, that sort of thing.
Thank you.
And not penalized for using your money.
Right. Yeah, that's a big one.
I think about learning on the PODs and TODs and all that stuff too is huge that most people don't realize that all needs to be in order too. You know, most people realize that after a parent death or something, then they find out, oh my God, we don't have it in order. I can't get the money out of the, you know, safety deposit box and all that stuff, life insurance and all that. So all that stuff is huge.
Indeed.
Amen.
Chris.
Yes.
Nathan, are you going to talk about the Saturday morning invite? I just went.
That's right. So actually, I'll talk about the one tonight. First and foremost, so we have what's called we call it a discovery call. Just kind of you to fly over and see what it is, to see what we're cooking, you know, and see how this can work for you. Mind you, we are a financial firm, and what some firms are charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for, we do for free. A free financial checkup, right? Do you have enough confidence in the person who's advising you to get a second opinion? So tonight at 8 p.m., we have a discovery call. It's only about 30 minutes, and we're showing free financial education. Some of it you can implement immediately. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but I guarantee that many of these things could change your life.
And it's listen only mode, so you don't need to show your face or come on and be pretty. So that's another thing. Not only do we have a call tonight, we do it 3 times a week now, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. as well, and then every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Knowledge is power, and each one of you have knowledge to give in your business. And what we do is based on like all the one-on-ones that I've had is that's all we're doing is we're sharing our expertise and our knowledge so that everybody can make the best decisions for their life, for their business, for their family, for whatever it is that you do. And that's what we get to do. We get to share this new way of thinking, this new way of building that legacy for your family and recreate that generational wealth and that mindset. So I do, and I encourage each and every one of you to hop on one of our calls, you know, just so you have a better understanding of what we do, so that if you come in contact with somebody, it's a better way for you to refer, because now you know a little bit more. And yeah, so I hope to see everybody on, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Text us, call us, whatever, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, what have you, things you don't want to ask on here, because money, it's a sensitive subject, and we understand that, and we get that. We've been there, we've lived it, we're all human. So
yep. So Beth.
Can you put the info for the?
Yep, I think I did, and then Miss Ellen just did as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think we're gonna maybe bring it to an end here, but if you think about this, there is no shortage of companies, businesses that want you to exchange your dollars for their goods and services. what we're doing is we want to show you how to keep more, how to save more of it, how to accumulate more of your own hard-earned money.
Can you each just share that link? And do you have like maybe a description or something if we were going to share it with other people so they know what it's about?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me think. Can I email you something?
Sure.
If you go to the, babe, if you go to the calendar, in the calendar on.
It does have the description. Okay, so that's what I'll do.
And, yeah, you can just put it in the Facebook group.
Definitely.
Great.
Miss Ellen, do you think maybe we could send out an email?
Yeah, we certainly can. Yep. No, yeah, be my
I'll
pleasure.
put it in I'll put the whole description here in the chat as well.
Yeah, it's right on the Zoom. The Zoom copy of the invitation. You can have it all right there. So.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't mess up the chat, but. So if you guys will copy that, and that's it. Miss Ellen, did you want to add anything?
No, you all did a great job. You know, like you said, it's, you know, it's a subject that some, you know, it's a little kind of iffy that some folks are uncomfortable in a big group talking about it. Do a one-on-one with Nathan and Desiree. Like they said, their passion is to help people. I've never been around more focused, more excited and energized and wanting to share the knowledge and help others. So we encourage you to do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.